Halo Infinite Season 2 Lone Wolves is going to be with us for another 6 months. Just like Season 1, that means we get to have the Fracture event 6 different times. Instead of Tenrai, this season introduced Fracture Entrenched with its Dieselpunk-inspired Eagle Strike armor core. So what are Fractures? Fractures are season-long events that return multiple times throughout a season to earn a free 30-item pass and purchase thematic items in the shop. These items are based around a central idea, which is ultimately non-canonical in the Halo universe. This lets 343 be creative with awesome designs without worrying about staying true to the look of the Halo universe. Every time this event appears, we're able to complete 10 event challenges out of the 30 tiers available, meaning you won't be able to complete the event pass until the third time the event rolls around. Every challenge is themed around a game mode, exclusive to the event. For Fracture Entrenched, we've been given Land Grab. Land Grab feels like a slightly edited version of Strongholds. Instead of capturing and holding 3 objectives around a map to gain score, points spawn in batches of 3, and give off a single point when they are captured. First to 11 wins. This is a huge step up from the previous mode that we had for Fracture Tenrai, which was just basic Fiesta. So far, my impression of Land Grab is pretty poor, for a bunch of reasons. First off, it feels too similar to both Strongholds and, more importantly, King of the Hill, which was both introduced this season and has its own dedicated playlist at the moment. These games are fast, maybe even too fast. I think the average length of my games are a little under 6 minutes. And because many times team members quickly are so spread out that 1v1 fights aren't too uncommon and those decide points. I've noticed a lot of times games end and even the best players in each team won't have any more than 10 kills. The most that I've had in a game is 25, and that's because it was on Behemoth and I was using a Ghost. When I play the mode, capturing the points can go one of 3 ways. 1, nobody comes to the point and you just get a free capture. 2, you have a 1v1 and don't fight anyone else for the rest of the capture. And 3, it's a clustered dog pile that goes back and forth until one team wipes and can't respawn fast enough. Of course, at that point, it's just Interestingly, Land Grab is also only on 4 maps. They all play pretty well for the mode. Personally, I was fine with only the 4 maps this time around. I just hope they mix it up for the next time this event comes out and add different maps to the playlist. On the bright side, the challenges for Land Grab are excellent in my experience. There are no challenges for things like backsmacks or killjoys. Instead, every challenge is based on kills or score for the mode, captures, and capture time. I felt encouraged to play the game mode properly instead of going out of my way to get obscure challenges. But the rest of the challenges that aren't exclusive to the event are still pretty bad. We're all tired of hearing it, but the challenge system is bad, and getting challenges for modes that you can't pick is bad design. Return 3 flags took me longer than any other challenge this week, just because I can't choose to play a match of Capture the Flag. Land Grab is a huge step up from Fiesta from Season 1, but it still feels too easily comparable to King of the Hill and Strongholds. It still holds true that the best event mode we've ever had was Attrition because of how unique it was to play. I don't know what I would tweak in Land Grab to fix it. Maybe I'd add a big team battle variant. But for some people who don't care about cosmetics, this is all the events are, these modes. And if they aren't good, they're disappointing, and another reminder of how unfinished Halo Infinite feels. But what about the people who care about cosmetics like me? I like the idea of Fractures a lot, and I like the idea of a whole theme lasting a whole season, but I still have problems with the whole setup. I'm torn on only being able to complete a third of the pass during the event. While it makes sense that you want people to come back for the event, there are also a handful of problems with limiting it to 10. First, it's frustrating being cut off when you want a specific piece in the pass. Also, maybe if you missed a few weeks here and there is a point where you would not be able to finish the pass out entirely. Moving along, I also have issues with the Fracture armors. I think they look really good, but the customization is so limited. There's a debate when it comes to cross-core customization, whether it should include non-canon Fracture cores or not. Personally, I like the Fracture cores being their own thing, but because of that, The only items for these fracture cores come from either the event pass or through the store during weeks when the event is active. Tenrai went on for 6 months and only ended up with 4 helmets, but 3 of them were free. Unless 343 decides that one of the weekly rewards is going to be a helmet, there are only 2 free helmets in Fracture Entrenched. According to the leaks, there are a total of 6 helmets for the core, and I get that 343 wants to be able to make money off of them, but there's no way to express yourself with how limiting the offerings are. I personally can't justify spending $9 on a Rocketeer helmet, but to each their own. These problems are even more apparent when looking at the Eagle Strike core after its first week of cosmetics. There is virtually no differences. It's insane how they went from Tenrai's original awful pass full of swaps to the content-rich one that we got the second time around, and then back to Eagle Strike, where they give us the same emblems 4 whole times. I think that while greater options in the event pass should be a thing, each Fracture core desperately needs greater offerings from the very start. A single white coating and helmet is embarrassing. I won't use this core until the next time this event rolls around because it looks so painfully generic. The only items in the event pass that we were able to earn this week were an earpiece and knee pads. There are things to look forward to later in the pass, like the Kerboa's helmet, but with so few choices in the categories, everyone will look the same and the core will feel pretty lifeless. On a random side note, during the first week of Fracture Entrenched, we were given a free backdrop to commemorate the event. But interestingly, the backdrop is slightly different from the actual Entrenched symbol used in different marketing. I don't know, it's just a weird oversight and goes with the theme of Halo Infinite feeling unfinished. Let's round things off with something a little positive to look forward to about Fracture Entrenched. While it's not part of the event this time around, 343 is looking to add a choose-your-own-adventure style story set in the Entrenched universe. The Last Sky Marshal will be 5 parts long, with the first 4 parts having a choice that the community can vote on and decide the outcome for the next part of the story. We don't know really any more than that. I assume it'll take place in the form of comics, but the idea of a small narrative really enriches the event for me. Overall, I think that Fracture Entrenched is painfully mediocre. While it has great successes compared to Tenrai in things like the game mode and challenge list, it falls short in customization. It's disappointing to see that 343 hasn't figured out exactly how to nail these fractures, because now this event pass is locked in place, and there really isn't enough content to be worth it, and we're stuck with it for another 6 months. Anyways, that about wraps it up. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check out some other videos on the channel. Peace.